Are you feeling stuck and experiencing feast and famine in business? Does every year kind of finish how you started off? You make a bit of progress, then you make a little, you make a bit more progress, and you make even less. And you're kind of on this roller coaster of going up and down with your income, up and down with your efforts. And you really want to hit that next income goal with your business, but you just can't figure out why you can't get there. Well, what I'm going to do in today's video is I'm going to explain to you the three things that you need to focus on every single day in order to reach your next income goal with your business, whether you're an entrepreneur, you're an e-commerce, you're a course creator, consultant, or coach. I'm going to explain and share with you the three things, and it's not what you think it is. And the last one is the most important. So please watch the video all the way through. And I'm going to actually explain this to you and help you shift your perspective that it isn't the next shiny object, as in the funnel, the system, the marketing, the sales. It has nothing to do with it, because everything that you don't know right now when it comes to getting to that next income level, when it comes to the systems, when it comes to the stuff, when it comes to the funnels, it's all out there for free. It's called the internet, right? But one thing that is preventing you from progressing week by week, month by month, and month by year, and seeing a steady growth curve comes down to just three things. And those three things are your current beliefs that you have right now, your current skills that you have right now, and also your current traits slash characteristics. Because let's face it, this is a really tough pill to swallow. I had to swallow this pill when I learned this years ago from my mentor. And he said to me, Russ, if you had the belief, skills, and traits of someone that earns the money that you desire, you would already be making it, right? And I was like, holy crap, right? He's got a point there. So my current identity, my current beliefs, my current paradigms that I have at the moment, by having those, I'm not actually capable of reaching the next milestone, whether that's to improve my health, wealth, relationships, or happiness. And you watching this right now, if you've been struggling in business, struggling to make consistent money, struggling to improve your income on a monthly and quarterly basis, well, I've got news for you. Your current identity isn't serving you, and your current identity isn't capable of achieving that result. But the even better news is that if you watch the rest of this video, you'll be able to solve that and start putting this into action and actually busting through those ceilings and plateaus and making your ceilings your new floors. Okay, so as I said before, it comes down to your beliefs and your traits and your current skills. And you have certain beliefs that are holding you back and they are disempowering you. And you have certain beliefs that you need to lean into more, because our beliefs are formed through our life experiences and we believe them to be true. They're perceived truths, but they're not facts. And some of these beliefs that we have and you have are preventing you from the next income goal. So just to tell you a bit about myself, I run an online program for coaches and consultants and fit pros to help them build a freedom business, reach their 10K month and beyond. And we give them all of the systems, all of the plug and play things that you need to get to your next income level, tactics for outbound, inbound, paid media. But yet some people thrive in the program and others don't. And the main thing that it comes down to is their beliefs. It comes down to their traits and it comes down to their skills. A lot of people have these beliefs around talking to strangers, about sending cold messages, about picking up the phone and doing cold calls. That is sleazy and it's salesy. And that is just a belief, right? And that belief then creates a perception. And that perception helps create the decisions or options that you think you have or don't, and therefore the actions that you will take or not, and therefore that creates your result. And it all goes back to a paradigm. And that paradigm that you have around sales calls, marketing, whatever it may be, is creating your results right now. Everything is working out for you perfectly, even if you don't like that situation. But you have a chance from watching this video to make that change. I know why most of us don't like talking to strangers. We were told that as children. My mum always used to say to me, Russ, when you go out and play, don't talk to strangers. So when I got a sales job when I was 19, working as a broker in foreign exchange, I didn't want to pick up the phone. I didn't want to talk to strangers because it had been coded into me. And I heard language from people that, you don't want to be a salesman, snake oil, brown suit. It's a smarmy job and all that. So I didn't want to lean into sales. But over time, I realized, learning how to sell and convey a message and communicate was one of the biggest skills that you can have in life. So I had to take those beliefs and I had to invert them the other way around. Also, you may be believing right now when it comes to your competition that there's too much. So if you believe there's too much competition, you're going to hold yourself back from taking that action. But if you can invert that belief and say to yourself, there's not enough competition and the market is not saturated enough, you're going to lean into a different frequency. You're going to lean into a different energy and vibration, and therefore different actions. It just all comes back down to that core belief. And then we're looking at your skills. So right now you have some skills that are serving you in your business, and there's some skills and some gaps that you don't know right now, which is holding you back from that next income goal. And then lastly, we have our traits. And the traits of the greats, and I'm going to explain these in a moment, are what are going to be the 3 things that you need to lean into every single day in order to reach your next income goal and make sure that you get out of that feast and famine in business. So how we've got to look at things is that whether or not you run a business that is in e-com, you run a business that's in real estate, you're a coach, you're a consultant, a course creator, a marketing expert, your business is a vehicle. And every business has systems. These systems can be for outbound, inbound, or paid media. And this is how you get clients, for example. And then you have the driver, which is you. And at the moment, you as the driver, you're in your vehicle and your vehicle is taken to your destination daily. But if you want to upgrade the vehicle and you want to upgrade the systems and fuel, you need to also upgrade you as the driver so that you're able to operate it every single day to a high standard. Because it doesn't matter what business you start, what business you're in right now. Every business out there, as long as it solves a painful problem for someone, is going to allow you to reach your first 10K, 100K, or even 7-figure month. You can look outside around you on Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever channels you're on, and see people making so much more money than you are right now. And even myself, right? I have to be comfortable with this as well, that my current identity isn't capable of achieving my next leap, but I'm working on evolving myself to that 2.0 and 3.0 version of me, because you don't get back in life what you want, you get back in life who you are. You can, all of the systems out there work, all of the business models out there work to a degree, but it's you as the driver. You may be watching this right now and you may have joined masterminds and coaching programs in the past or business courses, as I've done over the decades. And in some areas I performed well, in some I didn't. And it was all just down to me. I'm my biggest problem or my biggest solution. Whether I think I can do something or can't do something, I am always right. So at the moment, your business might be looking like a beat up kind of like Nissan or a Nissan Micra or something like that. And you are the driver, but you can step into that every single day, right? And as I said before, drop shipping, real estate, high ticket coaching, whatever it is you do can make you that money that you desire. However, 2 to 3 months in, what ends up happening, you get like all this confidence, you start working, and then your character, your traits, your skills let you down. And you start to get into this kind of blame and complain mode, right? And we start to point the finger. It's the market, it's sales, it's clients, everyone's skin. But look what happens when you point this finger. These 3 are pointing back at you. So it all comes down to you, because you want your business, your vehicle, to look like and perform like a Formula One car. But I'm guessing we can both agree that if you and I stepped into a Formula One car today, we would not be able to drive it. We would not be able to get through all the gears, pull away, slow down in time, and we would probably crash it. And it's because a Formula One driver has a different set of skills, beliefs, characteristics, and traits. We don't have those. So if you want to transform your business, if you want to transform your vehicle, you want to be able to use systems consistently so that you can consistently see that growth curve inside, you've got to upgrade you as the driver. So it's all about taking responsibility. We need to take responsibility for our actions. We need to take responsibility for our results and realize it all comes down to us. Like, instead of chasing money, chase the version of you that can have it with ease. A lot of people and a lot of my clients that I work with, they are expecting their external world to change, their relationships, their income, what they see in the bank, clients, but they're not willing to change their internal world. And it's the key. It's the quote unquote secret to having it all. It really is. Let's just say, for example, you want to make 10K per month inside of your business. You have to find a market, and that market has to have money. But in order to attract and draw that money to you, you have to become a person of value, because value is created when pain is alleviated. You find out a painful problem that your marketplace has, and you create a product or service or solution for that. And then the more valuable it is and the quicker and faster it solves that problem, that money will draw to you. It really is that simple. But it's about being consistent enough to convey that value daily. And if you can do that faster and better than anyone else, you'll hit 10K and beyond a month extremely fast. So as I said before, if 10K a month is the goal for you right now, or 100K a month in your business, we don't want to go after the goal. We don't want to chase the goal. We want to focus on the inputs because 10K is an output. You, the driver, is the input. And who you are or who you become is basically what you get back. So 10K is an output of who you are or who you become. And at the moment, you have an identity that is your 1.0 identity of you right now. But we need to assassinate parts of you and recruit new parts of you to evolve you and reinvent you into the 2.0 version. We need to upgrade your character. We need to upgrade your self-image. We need to upgrade your traits and your belief systems so that you completely change yourself, especially if you're trying to reach a goal right now that you've never achieved. Like if you've never achieved that goal before, it's going to take the work that you've never done before to achieve something you've never had before. And it will take sacrifice. You're not going to have to live like a monk, but it will take some sacrifices. You may have to go to bed earlier. You may have to wake up earlier. You may have to start eating better foods, go into the gym a few times a week. You may have to stop certain habits and vices that you know you shouldn't be doing or are creating lag indicators in life and business, because there are no business problems. There are no lead problems. There are no sales problems. There are only energy and life problems that manifest and show up in your business. For example, me recording this video to you right now. I'm 5 weeks into being a new father. I had my first daughter 5 weeks ago. And when I look at my income over the last 5 weeks, it's been a bit rocky. And it isn't because the market's changed. It isn't because people don't have money. It isn't because people don't want my product. It isn't because people don't want the solution that I solved for them. Because 99% of people out there, unless you live in a nunnery or something like that, they want to improve their health, wealth, relationships, and happiness. But the reason why my business hasn't been performing as well over the last 4 or 5 weeks is because I haven't been performing as well. I've had sleepless nights. I've had night feeds. I've lent into eating a bit of bad food because of being tired. I've slept in when I shouldn't have, and so on from there. I took 2 weeks off, and that just reflects in my business. But I know that I can take control of this at any given time and step back into the 2.0 version of me and not regress back to the 1.0. You've got to stop feeding your old life and start feeding your new life inside of your environment. What goes in here in your mouth, what you see and what you listen to every single day, the energy, the frequency, whatever it is that you're around on a daily basis, that also needs to upgrade. Everybody is waiting for the next shiny thing, that stimuli that attracts them to this next funnel, AI, marketing, whatever hack it may be. But if you've been doing this for a very long time and you're still not making the progress you want, it comes down to your traits, your skills, and your beliefs, most importantly. So you want to work out what skills you are lacking right now. Maybe you need to learn how to write copy. Maybe you need to learn how to run funnels. Maybe you need to learn how to run ads. Maybe you need to learn the skill of selling, communication, or overcoming objections, or how to start, a cold call and hook the listener in within the first 5 seconds. And these skills are keeping you stuck. And then you've got to lean into the traits. Have a look at what traits you currently have that are disserving you and disempowering you and creating a lag indicator in business and life. Some of the traits that I had that weren't serving me was, a bit of like procrastination. It was not finishing things on time, not keeping promises to myself. So I was losing my self-confidence, my self-worth. So I started to act from self-love and self-discipline by doing what I said I would, by signing the contract every morning and fulfilling what I said. And I started to build a really strong, confident bond with myself. And then I just got into this flow state, and it allowed me to achieve more in business and life. And then we've got to come down to your core beliefs. What beliefs are holding you back right now? Do you think the market is too saturated? Do you think that you need to know everything before you can start? Do the stars need to be in alignment for you to do so? Do you believe that marketing is scammy, sales is sleazy? What beliefs are holding you back right now? It may be that you feel that you're not good enough, or you need to seek validation from someone else before you can take action. But you can change this. These beliefs are holding you back. These skills are preventing you from making income. And these traits that you currently have are letting you down. And there are only 3 traits that I need and that you need to be successful. Number 1 is focus. Focus is one of the traits of the greats. You may or may not have heard of a great coach called Dr. John DeMartini. He's a great wealth and relationship coach, and he has a training I learned from him many years ago called The Traits of the Greats. And he asked me to pick 3 people that I admire, one to do with health, one to do with relationships, and one to do with happiness. Okay, so health, wealth, relationships, and pick one person for each. So I picked my coach at the time for business. I picked my partner at the time for relationships, and I think I picked my mother for the happiness part. And then he asked me to then pick the 3 top traits that I admire about those people so much. And then I picked the traits, and it was like they're energetic, they're compassionate, they're driven, they're consistent, they show up, they add huge value. And then my coach said to me at the time, he said, look, Russ, like you cannot see or perceive a trait in someone you do not have from within. You cannot see or perceive a trait from someone that you do not have within, whether they're the light traits or the dark traits, or we call the shadow, the good or the bad. So that if you already have those from within, if you've already displayed those traits in the past, you just need to bring them back into your life, into the present. It's not like you're in this life and living in lack. Everything is around you. You have an abundance of it with you. You've displayed these traits before, so you wouldn't be able to recognize these in others. And one of them is focus. Like every entrepreneur that I look up to that are not just millionaires, but billionaires, they have mad, disciplined focus, laser focus. They can focus on a task for more than 90 minutes without getting distracted. They eliminate all their distractions from around them. And then number 2 is disciplined. Being disciplined means you do the work even when you don't feel like it. Being disciplined means that you keep your promises to yourself and you do what you said you would. It creates a strong bond of confidence within self, and that makes you feel unstoppable. Focus and discipline combined, oh my, you are going to be unstoppable. And then lastly is emotional management. You want to look at the facts over the feelings, and you will look at the data over the emotion. Running a business, being an entrepreneur can be an emotional roller coaster. So the quicker you can manage your capacity to deal with stress, manage, cultivate, create, and protect your energy on a daily basis, and understand that people do what they're doing and they're doing their best with the tools that they have, then you can lean into more compassion and stop getting triggered by the external world. Because your thoughts of the external world are a reflection of the internal world. And it's not what people say or do that trigger you and make you feel shit. It's your thoughts about what people do or say that trigger you and make you feel shit. And when you start to understand and lean into the law of polarity and that everything in life has a complementary opposite, you stop looking at things as good or bad, positive or negative. This is better or worse. You just look at it as just a straight line of this is just an event and it's just a part of the journey. You cannot have one without the other. You cannot post something up on TikTok today and get a ton of praise without expecting criticism. You can't have the highs in business without the lows. You can't have all your clients paying you without a payment defaulting. It's just how life is. So you learn to go with the bends instead of resisting, instead of putting yourself through pain. And these are the 3 traits that you need and I need in order to be successful and reach that next income goal. And then lastly, we're going to come down to belief systems. I'll talk about systems in another video, but belief and systems, they're 2 separate things. But a belief is just a statement of perceived truth. Like my truth is different to your truth. But if we look at the law of reversibility, let's just use electricity, for example. I hope you can agree that electricity can create friction, right? And friction can also create electricity. So if that's the case, this is universal for everything. So if I see something to be fact, that fact will create a feeling and emotion. But if I can change the feeling and emotion, I can change the perceived fact. And I'm not into politics at all, but let's just say I just cut into a picture of like Donald Trump. That would make some of you feel one way and some of you feel another way. But you may say bad and some may say good, but neither of us are right or wrong, right? It's like the left and the right. Like the right aren't right, the left aren't right, the right ain't wrong, the left ain't wrong, right? It's just their perceived truth. And you believe you lean into a belief and you make it a statement of perceived truth because it gives you a benefit. That's the only reason why we have beliefs. We have beliefs because they back up our survival mechanisms to avoid pain. And some of you right now are avoiding the pain of doing more, which you know is going to get you to your next income level, but you choose to stay safe and you create these beliefs so that you can then predict the outcome And if you can predict the outcome, that makes you feel safe, but what ultimately makes you feel safe ultimately will keep you unhappy and stuck in the same situation. So we need to kind of invert and change those beliefs. So what do you believe to be true about making money? And is it serving you? Like, I never used to think that money was abundant. Money didn't grow on trees and all that stuff. I'm not going to give you some kind of bullshit backstory, but I didn't grow up wealthy. I had a single mother. She worked 3 jobs, and I didn't make any of the money, the kind of quote unquote big money inside of my business until I was at the age of around about 31, 32. And I'm nearly 40 now. So it took me a while to catch up to this stuff. And that's why I want to share this with you today. So, you can speed up and not have to go through 10 to 15 years of pain of the roller coaster of feast and famine when it comes to money. And it was just because of my belief systems. I remember one time when I had to sleep over at my auntie's house over Christmas when I was about 7 or 8 years old, because my mum couldn't afford to keep the heating on in the house. And one of the things that upset me the most was knowing that Santa Claus wasn't going to be able to deliver my presents. And if he did deliver the presents, they'll be at my house because he doesn't know my auntie's address to deliver them. And like, thinking about that right now, is kind of compounding that false narrative that money is hard to come by and everyone's broke and skint and no one has anything, because money is in abundance. Money is an energy source, and the more energy and more value you can put out to the marketplace, the more the more it's going to follow. It's an exchange. So I want you to really think about like what you believe to be true about making money, and is that actually serving you? Because what ends up happening was, going back to my story, is that we have all these experiences around money. We have all these experiences around wealth and happiness and so on. And we have the past, and this is from our sensory and our imagination. So this is from our 5 senses, from our imagination and from our experiences. And things that you might have been told is like, money don't grow on trees. Money is hard to come by. You have to work 50 years to become rich. Save for a rainy day. Don't spend money, etc. These are all the things that were thrown at me from my parents and my peers and my friends and my family. And if I just keep thinking about those bad experiences, the times that I was broke, the times that I was scammed, the times that I, couldn't eat or provide, or I couldn't make my loan repayments or whatever it may be. If we look at those like a scale of positive or negative experiences, I'm going to keep putting kind of like rocks and boulders and weights into this negative scale, and it's just going to tip down one side. And it's just going to start to formulate my subconscious and my belief systems around money. So if you don't have any good experiences about money up until now, then you need to start using your imagination instead, because we have our imagination and we get them from 2 areas. One is memory, which is from the past, and the other is visualization for the future. So I don't have that many good experiences with money from my past. So I have to create a new story, a new narrative. I have to create a new belief system, and also match that with energy and frequency from within me in order to actually attract what I want. And this may sound a bit woo-woo, may seem a bit out there, but this is what's worked for me for years. It works for my clients as well. And we don't rely on the systems. We don't rely on the funnels in order to build our business, because if you can just implement them consistently every single day, if you can get 1% better every single day, if you can get addicted to those fundamentals and be willing to fail fast so you can find out what works quick, and also manage your emotions and be disciplined and focused, guess what? Any system can work for you, and any business, which is a vehicle, will take you to the promised land and where you need to go. And this is the reason why. It's to upgrade your character, upgrade your self-image. And I lean into affirmations. And I'm not saying any of this to impress you, but to press upon you how powerful this can be. So we only need 2 things. We need an image in the future, and we need an emotion, which is telling the story. And you need to do that every single day. So just over a year ago, so in January, no, sorry, over 18 months ago, so January last year, me and my wife made the decision that we don't want to live in the UK anymore, and we want to move to the island of Crete. But at that time, financially, we was a bit rocky, okay? And at that time, we'd started a brand new business. And at that time, we'd been through a lot of trauma. And at that time, we had a few losses with family and so on. And we was a bit broken and beat up by it, right? But it was just a story. And I know that it may sound insensitive, but I had to create a different version of myself. Version one is I say to everyone, I have a lack of all these things and I'm not getting to where I want to be because of X, Y, Z. Or I can create the 2.0 version of myself and say, I've still got all these things going on, all of these, curveballs and traumas and everything else, but I'm doing it in spite of it. I'm finding a way to make it work, because the future version of me, the version of me a year from now, who looks better, feels better, performs better, his relationship is better, his business is better, his clients are getting better results, all of these things. He's doing things and acting in different ways than I do right now. So I have to live as if the wish is fulfilled, and I have to step into the future version of me and ask myself every single day, what would future you do? And then that helps me with the action part. But I also need to create these affirmations of the future state and the future outcome that I want, so that I can already feel inside of me and mentally, emotionally, physically that I've already achieved it. Because if I live as if the wish is fulfilled, if I live as if it's already been achieved, then I'm going to match that frequency, and the universe is going to provide it as long as I put in the consistent action. So many people are waiting to meet their perfect partner for them to tell them, I love you, to experience the feeling of love. So many people are waiting for that one day where they check their bank account on their phone and there's 3 or 6 zeros in there to feel wealthy. But it never happens. You need to wake up tomorrow, or after watching this video, and start living life as if the wish is fulfilled. Start living as if and saying, I have 100,000 subscribers on this channel. I have X amount in the bank. I have this business. I am already there. And by me already being there, I carry myself in a different way. I speak in a different way. I do things in a different way. How I do one thing is how I do everything. I am consistent. I am disciplined. And one thing that I do every single morning is I do a body scan. I took the body scan from Joe Dispenza, and then I added my own affirmations at the end. So what I do first thing in the morning, after I've had a cold shower, I spend 15 to 20 minutes in a meditative state. So either in a sauna, laying down, or in the garden. And what I do is I close my eyes and I check in with my head, I check in with my heart, and I check in with my gut. Checking in with my head allows me to put anything in a container that isn't serving me at the moment, and figuring out what's true and what's not true, what is controllable and not controllable. So then I can put that to the side and then check in with the positives. I check in with my heart every single morning. It's filled with love and abundance. I check in with my gut, and my gut knows I'm following my true north. My gut told me to put this out to the universe today by making this video. Then after that, I ask myself, what is known today? I know I have meetings. I know I have a YouTube video to make. I know I have clients to serve. I know I have sales calls to do. But what I don't know is what's going to happen in those moments. But what I do know is that everything is going to be okay. And the reason why I know that everything is going to be okay is because it always is. Like, you have survived 100% of the trauma in your life. The riskiest game of it all that you're playing right now is life, because you don't get out alive. So you need to take more risks. And then once I've gone through what is known and not known, I'm like, what is unknown outside of that today? Everything. And everything else that is unknown is infinite. So if I can let go of control, I can regain control on what I can focus on and put my attention towards today. And then I celebrate my wins from the previous day. Where am I winning in life? Where am I winning in business? Where am I winning in my relationships? And then I move on to my gratitude tasks. So what am I grateful for? But I don't just say I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for what about my wife? What does she do so that feeling and that emotion comes out? Because gratitude triggers abundance. You can get into an abundant frequency by celebrating and leaning into gratitude. And by celebrating wins daily, you start to trigger something called confidence. You start to build strategic confidence. When you write something down and you do it, you follow through, then you celebrate, you're like, wow, I'm pretty awesome. And the confidence grows. And then the last thing I do is the affirmations, which is the most powerful one. And the affirmations is me living in Crete. I visualize the bed that I'm laying on. I wake up in the morning. I see my wife. I kiss her on the forehead. I go into the next room. I stare at my beautiful daughter. I let the dog out of its crate. I go into the kitchen and I open up the big doors. And as I open up the big doors, I can just see green grass and a swimming pool at the end. And I walk out barefoot. And while I'm doing this affirmation, I can feel the spongy grass beneath my feet. I can smell the barbecue coals from the night before. I can hear the pool filter trickling down, my dog running around, my wife comes through the patio doors, She passes me my morning water and supplements, and we look at each other and we say, we fucking made it. And I've been playing that image out, smelling it, feeling it, touching it every single morning for almost 18 months now. And guess what? A day before making this video, we put the deposit down on our 4-bed villa in the island of Crete. We are moving there 10 weeks from today, which is the 20th of September. And I saw it in my mind. Now I'm going to hold it in my hand. And you can do the same. So when it comes to your business, it isn't the systems, it isn't the funnel, it isn't the marketplace. It comes down to your current beliefs, your current traits, and the skills that you have. Some of these are holding you back. Some of these are disempowering you. From today, I hope that you've figured that out. I'd love to hear in the comments below what your biggest takeaways were, what your biggest light bulb moment or epiphany that you had, and what you're going to do about it. And if this video was helpful, if this video added some value to you today, then please, please, please give me a like, give me a comment, give me a subscribe, and I'll be posting these regular and you'll see more in the future.